Why read dialogues? Well, more precisely, why read dialogues intended for native speakers? Native speakers like Americans or British people or Australians. Why? Well, it's actually a top tip from Michelle Thomas, probably the most famous language teacher ever. And he said, read dialogues because then you will get a feeling for how people interact. It's the interplay between the speakers that's important. That's what you get with dialogues. And you don't get that with certain language media, like the news. The news is useful for vocabulary, yes, great. But if your goal is to be confident in a conversation, then it's not going to help as much. Also, TED Talks. TED Talks is another great media. It's a great language learning tool, especially for vocabulary and comprehension. But it doesn't help as much with if your goal is to become a competent conversation partner. Because those two medias is basically one way. It's a monologue. And what we are going to look at today is dialogue. And we live in a great time where we don't just have to read dialogues. We can read them, we can watch them, and we can listen to them. And this really helps in the learning process. And you might think, where can I find this stuff? And it's not too difficult, to be honest. If you use Google and you type in the words transcript or interview, then you've got a promising start. And for example, with TV shows, you can put TV show transcript. For example, Friends transcript. You get all the transcripts for Friends, or what seems to be all the transcripts for Friends. There's loads there, and they match up with the video clips of Friends. So very useful material. You can do interviews. It could be like sports interviews, celebrity interviews, interviews with actors. Just type these in. And if you add transcript on the end of that, sports interview transcript, celebrity interview transcript, then you will come up with the text for those interviews as well. And it's incredibly useful. Okay, so first of all, we're going to go to Friends. No, not those Friends. Those are normal Friends. We want, and no, not the Friends behind us. The TV show Friends. Okay, here is a transcript from one of the episodes of Friends. I believe it was the first episode, going by the website. I might be wrong. And to give you context of what this is about, it's about sex. That's the context. And it's the different views of sex between men and women. So the women are saying how important kissing is in relation to sex, and the men, basically, they don't get it. So they're trying to get their viewpoints across. So here we got the transcript. I'm using DeepL. Here's some of the chunks I've taken out. I think, oh, this is interesting language. I want to learn it. For me, it's a little bit strange to do it like this because I've chosen German. Because English, I already know. It's my language. I know what these chunks mean, but I think these chunks are quite interesting. So that's why I chose them. And so you got the English here and the German here. And what can you do with this? You can put it into Word. You can put 2 columns, one English, one German. Learn it like that. So paper-based learning. I would put it into Anki, into a Flashware app. And in Anki, I can also put a voice to the English clips, which makes it even better. So in Anki, I would see the German first, and then I would come up with the English and see whether I could come up with it. Okay, and here is the actual clip from Friends. So enjoy.
What you guys don't understand is, for us, kissing is as important as any part of it.
Yeah, right. serious?
Oh, yeah. Everything you need to know is in that first kiss. Absolutely.
Okay, and the other one is, okay, and here I got a transcript from the famous interviews, famous celebrity interview with Meghan, Harry, and Oprah. So the start is only Meghan and Oprah. The Sun, a tabloid newspaper in the UK, provided the transcript. I highlighted some of the language which I think is interesting. And again, I put it into Deep L. Okay, and here I'm going to show you what else I might do with it. So here, do you know if you're having a boy or a girl? So it's a long chunk, but you can keep the original chunk. You can break it down as well. Do you? No. Do you know? This is also quite a common chunk. Do you know if? You could even break it down to this one. Do you know if you're having? In a different context, in a restaurant, do you know if you're having pasta or pizza? For example, having a boy or a girl. I'll wait for my husband to join us. Okay. I'll wait for my husband. There's an even shorter chunk. I'll wait for. So it could be I'll wait for Tom. I'll wait for Lucy. I'll wait for the dinner to arrive. It's quite a common chunk. Why not have to join us as well? That would be really great. Before we get into it, okay, and thanks for inviting me, by the way. I think this is a nice bit of language. So that's a quick tour of why you should use dialogues that are intended for native speakers. So it could be like TV shows, interviews, discussion shows, talk shows, all that kind of stuff. Because you get that interplay between the speakers, and you get very interesting language that is not always shown in a textbook. In a textbook, they do have dialogues, but they're usually a little bit simplified. That's one reason. And you can use, with all the information available on the internet now, you can gather the transcript, yeah, and you can have the audio as well. And that's incredibly useful. And then you can take it a step further, take out the language or the chunks that you find interesting, and then test yourself on it, really learn it well. And it will help you understand dialogues much, much better, and your language skills will grow that much faster. So I hope you found today's episode interesting. It was slightly different to my normal programs. It's slightly different to my normal videos. So if you find it interesting, please subscribe. And there will be more about chunks coming up. And there will be more about how to use dialogues or transcripts of dialogues, how you can use it for language learning material. Okay, so go forth and speak English.
Double masked and has face shields. But you look lovely.
Thank you, so do you.
Pregnant and lovely.
Thank you, yes.
Do you know if you're having a boy or girl?
We do this time. I will wait for my husband to join us and we can share that with you.